Hi, this is Burr Stewart, and welcome to another episode of Much Fun with Trains. I was minding my own business one day, and suddenly a friend brought over a Union Pacific big boy to run on my layout and see if it would clear all of the obstacles. I didn't know what to do except to allow this to happen and to film it for you. Watching a big boy is just an awesome thing in both the real life and on a model railroad. Here you see this big boy having hooked up to a few cars and pulled all the way up to the Skykomish yard, which is really the end of the line eastward on my layout. But for the Union Pacific, if they wanted to go east, obviously they would go down to Portland, Oregon and head over through the Columbia River Gorge.
More ballast. We discovered lots of unballasted track. Like this whole stretch right here.
As you probably know from watching my channel, this layout is set in 1973 and represents the area between Seattle and Bellingham, Washington. Here the big boy has come around the Rainbow Bridge at Skykomish Yard, past all those massive diesels, and is heading downhill towards Seattle. This is the Athearn Genesis unit from, I want to say 5 or 10 years ago, but it has a Tsunami 2 decoder and it performs really well. There's a huge overhang with the rear end of the boiler and the cab there, and we had to stop and trim some of the scenery for this to get all around the layout, but not too bad. I think you might see a few examples of that coming up in a minute. This is heading around the Index Loop. That mountain in the background is Mount Index. In the undeveloped portion of the layout below that is the Ballard branch, or it's really called the Fremont branch. But it's not any place the big boy would ever go. On the other hand, the main line past Mount Index is certainly plausible if they were doing a tour on the BNSF main line. As you know, the actual unit they've restored is 2014, but this is a perfectly good stand-in. As much as I enjoy modeling the 70s and all the different rainbow colors of the diesels that operated on the Burlington Northern at that time, there is nothing like watching a large articulated steam engine, is there? Look at that. Those drivers, all the complicated steam sounds, which you can't really hear over my constant yakking. It's a beautiful engine, and I'm glad to get to celebrate it a little bit here with you. I'd like to say I deliberately put those old-style tank cars behind the engine to look like it fit in the right period, but in truth, those just happened to be the cars that were in the Delta Yard when the big boy passed through. Here we're heading downgrade towards Everett, Washington, and we've got a little scenery construction underway and bridges, as you can see by the pink foam. Right after we took this video, we actually painted some of the foam, and it'll look a lot better the next time you watch. That trestle is my version of the Nason Creek trestle, which of course is on the east side of Stevens Pass, but never mind. Not sure why it hesitated there at that switch. It's just a standard number 6 Shinohara turnout, I think it is. But it's doing quite well. We had to trim that tunnel a little bit, but we didn't show you that in the video. We just let you gawk at this monster. It's locomotives like this that inspire people to make whole layouts of the transition era between steam and diesel. Now this is personally my favorite part of the video. I hand built this very complicated crossing and I wanted to see if a big boy could get through it without derailing. And look at that, it did! Except the tender was a little bit rough, but it didn't derail, it just did a big clicking there. Now it's going through the Delta yard where it originally picked up these cars that it's hauling. It seems to fit better here than anywhere else because this is the terminus of our narrow gauge line, so in the background you can see some D&RGW steam engines. I wanted to get really close here so you could see the working mechanism. Isn't that something? Well, there you have it. My celebration of the Union Pacific Big Boy. Even though we model a competing railroad, this is just too fantastic not to enjoy. Now you might recognize this U-boat we've been playing with recently and the scene of the steam engine coming by. We'll have some shots of that U-boat in the next video. Today I just wanted to concentrate on the big boy. So for now, this is Burr Stewart wishing you much fun with trains.
Catches fire or something like that. All right.